Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of the Holiday Flexibility Challenge. Make sure to read the comments for all the details on the challenge. Today we're going to be doing a yin style flow, so a lot of long holds. So these type of holds are really about tuning into your body and kind of calming your mind to not give up too soon. So we're going to start in a straddle pose. So I want you to not take your deepest straddle, start somewhere where it's a little bit of a stretch, but not pushing yourself too hard because we're going to be here for around 3 minutes. So you can start with your hands on the mat, elbows are all the way down. I was a little bit warmer because I'd worked out before this, so I started all the way down, but you can ease yourself into the stretch. You're going to see me do that with my front splits here in just a little bit. I'll show some variations on screen, but these are all optional. This is really about the long holds here. I'm doing a twist, just weaving one arm under for thread the needle, and then taking it to the other side. And I'm just taking my hands wide on the mat here and just swaying side to side a little bit, hitting some different angles in the stretch. Then I'm going to walk my hands all the way over to the right and hold. Hold and breathe. Then I'm going to walk myself to center and all the way over to the left. You may also feel this one in the side body a little bit. And again, this is about going to your max. So maybe you're staying on with your hands on the mat, keeping your core tight. You always want to be bending at the hips and not leaning forward with the head. So I'd much rather you stay up like what I'm about to show than to be staying down, but you're leading with your head. So I just did a little bit of a back arch, just kind of changing up the angle a little bit. And now you can go ahead and widen your straddle if that's in your practice. So taking it a little bit deeper. I'm clasping my hands behind my back for a second, just getting into the shoulders a little bit. You're doing really great. Again, don't give up. Even if you've got to back off just a little bit, it's better to pull back than to completely give up on the stretch altogether. I do a lot of active flexibility and movement, so sometimes it's good to just slow down, connect to your breath. In a lot of ways, sometimes these type of flows are more difficult. Go ahead and bring that back to center, shake it out. Now we're going to come into frog. So you can go ahead and start with your feet together. You want to think your knees being right in line with your hips. You can start with your elbows on the mat, all the way down on your belly or on your hands. You may find your being on your hands more difficult in frog because it presses your hips into the earth. I'm most comfortable my elbows in frog. If you want to change the angle a little bit, you can rock back and forth. So your hips will come behind your knees and then a little bit in front. I'm holding with them a little bit behind here. Then what I want you to do is bring your feet in line with your knees. So while you don't have to follow along, I do want you to try this variation of frog in the hold. Again, your hips may be closer to the earth than mine. They may be way farther up. It's not about how far into the stretch you are. It's about staying in the hold, having good form, pushing your body, but not pushing your body past its normal healthy limits. Remember, when you see people on screen, whether that's me or another person you're following, there's years of practice behind it. I know for me, I've been doing frog since I was 15 and I'm 30, so lots of time in frog pose. You can bring your belly all the way down to the mat if that's comfortable for you. Beautiful job, guys. You can't really tell here, but I'm definitely taking some deep breaths. This hold and frog is not an easy one. Almost there. Great job. So you can slide your legs behind you, however's best for you to get out. Then we're going to go into our front splits. You can start with a block underneath your hip. I had a really hard time figuring this out for some reason. Perfect. So when you're in your front splits, what you want to think is keeping your hips facing the front of the mat. If you have the block there and you're comfortable, you can come on out, coming into your full front split. I'm going to show a few variations here. You can rock side to side. This is great for getting different angles in the stretch. You can walk yourself forward over that front leg, getting deep into the hamstring. Sometimes bringing my elbows a little bit to the inside of my front leg is a really comfortable position for me. Bringing myself back centered over that front leg. And again, this is just recommendations, what I'm doing. By no means do you have to follow along. This is about your hold. You can stay on the blocks. You can actually pile another block on top. Constantly reassessing your alignment. You can take a twist towards the front leg, opposite the front leg. The rest of the time, I want you to just go into the position that feels most comfortable for you. Like I said, when I started, I was already warm going into this. So you can either do a little bit of a warm up, hot bath, quick walk, yoga flow, or just take it a little bit slower going into the stretches than I did here on screen. Great job. So you can come on out of that, shake it out, and we're going to do that same hold, you guessed it, on the other side. So I started with the block, and then I'm going to move the block, and I'm just going to come into my full front split here. You can either stay with the block, or you can add another block under your hip. You can ease into it doing a low lunge half split. I'm starting out in my most comfortable position, which is with my elbows on the mat to the inside of my leg before bringing myself centered over the front leg into that hamstring stretch. It's very, very natural for one side to feel easier than the other. My left split is way harder than my right split, and that's totally normal. But what's important within that is to give them the same attention. You don't want to be holding one split because it's super comfortable and then backing off of the other. You want to be doing the same thing on both sides, even if that means backing off the good side a little bit, because you're just going to exacerbate that unevenness when you're giving one side more attention. I did those twists away from my leg and towards my leg. I'm someone who has a lot of energy and I'm kind of always moving around, so these flows really test my ability to sit still, which is really good for me to slow my mind down, calm my body down. You can even see just me getting a little bit antsy, and that's good. Go ahead and come into whatever position feels the most comfortable for you now. Staying in that front split though. We are almost there. So I'll talk through what we're going to do next while you do this hold. So next, it's going to be a middle split hold, but if you're not within, I would say, a few inches from your middle splits, hold frog. So you're going to do a repeat of frog or a middle split next. With frog, if you're going to do that variation, maybe doing the variation you didn't hold as long from before, whether that's toes together or toes apart, I would do whichever one feels most difficult for you. So go ahead and swing that leg around, shake it out, give yourself a hug here, and prepare yourself for middle splits or frog. So I'm going to ease into my middle splits. They felt a little intimidating to me today. So I started in frog and I did a half frog, half middle split. So I have one leg with frog with my toes together and the other leg extended with dog fur on it. I have a Pyrenees, so fur everywhere all the time. I switched sides here. So half frog on one side, half middle split on the other. You're doing so good. Don't give up. This is the last one. Last push here. By the way, how is the challenge going? You're 1 week in, daily flows, the walks. How has that been? How have the outdoor walks been? The yoga flows? Are you feeling more flexible? Let me know in the comments. So I came into my full middle split now. So I extended the other leg. I'm in a full middle. Other ways to work into middle splits are to start in straddle and roll into your middle splits, or to start into a wide leg forward fold and slide into your middle splits and just hold yourself up for the inches that you're not quite there. I took a little bit of a tricep stretch here. If you feel pretty comfortable in your middle splits, you can walk yourself to one side. Definitely getting a different angle. Then walk yourself to the other side. If you're in frog, maybe if you were on your hands, maybe you try to go into your belly, or if you were on your belly, you try to go onto your hands. You can also walk side to side in frog too. So I'm going to push up onto my hands in middle splits. This will definitely deepen the splits because it's going to push your hips towards the earth. You can take a twist to one side, a twist to the other side, because you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you for doing this challenge, by the way. I love that we're doing it together. I'm doing the challenge with you, by the way. Just going to take a pancake middle for these last like 30 seconds. You have got this. I wanted to quit too. Breathe. Amazing job, guys. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for tomorrow's flow. Look in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.